Welcome to our continuing series on questions and answers from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today's subject is To the Women of Japan, Part 3. From the Mother. We have already seen that the appearance of a new species always announces the manifestation on earth of a new principle, a new plane of consciousness, a new force or power. But at the same time, while the new species acquires this formerly unmanifested power or consciousness, it may lose one or many of the perfections which were the characteristics of the immediately preceding species. For instance, to speak only of the last step of nature's development, what are the greatest differences between man and his immediate predecessor, the ape? In the monkey, we see vitality and physical ability reaching the utmost perfection, a perfection that the new species had to abandon. For man, there has been no more of that marvelous climbing up trees, somersaults over abysses, jumps from summit to summit, but in exchange he acquired intelligence, the power of reasoning, combining, constructing. Indeed, with man it is the life of mind, of intellect, which appeared on earth. Man is essentially a mental being, and if his possibilities do not stop there, if he feels in himself other worlds, other faculties, other planes of consciousness beyond his mental life, they are only as promises for the future, in the same way as the mental possibilities are latent in the monkey. It is true that some men, very few, have lived in the world beyond, which we may call the spiritual. Some have been, indeed, the living incarnations of that world on earth, but they are the exceptions, the forerunners showing the way to the race, leading it towards its future realization, not the average man, but that which was the privilege of a few beings scattered through time and space, shall become the central characteristic of the new type which is to appear. At present, man governs his life through reason. All the activities of the mind are of common use for him. His means of knowledge are observation and deduction. It is by and through reasoning that he takes his decision and chooses his way, or believes he does, in life. The new race shall be governed by intuition, that is to say, direct perception of the divine law within. Some human beings actually know and experience intuition, as undoubtedly certain big gorillas of the forest have glimpses of reasoning. In mankind, the very few who have cultivated their inner self, who have concentrated their energies on the discovery of the true law of their being, possess more or less the faculty of intuition. when the mind is perfectly silent, pure like a well-polished mirror, immobile as a pond on a breezeless day, then, from above, as the light of the stars drops in the motionless waters, so the light of the supermind, of the truth within, shines in the quieted mind and gives birth to intuition. Those who are accustomed to listen to this voice out of the silence take it more and more as the instigating motive of their actions, and where others, the average men, wander along the intricate paths of reasoning, they go straight their way, guided through the windings of life by intuition, this superior instinct, as by a strong and unfailing hand. This faculty, which is exceptional, almost abnormal now, will certainly be quite common and natural for the new race, the man of tomorrow. But probably the constant exercise of it will be detrimental to the reasoning faculties, as man possesses no more the extreme physical ability of the monkey, so also will the Superman lose the extreme mental ability of man, this ability to deceive himself and others. Thus, man's road to supermanhood will be open when he declares boldly that all he has yet developed, including the intellect of which he is so rightly and yet so vainly proud, is now no longer sufficient for him, and that to uncase, discover, set free this greater power within, shall be henceforward this great preoccupation. Then will his philosophy, art, science, ethics, social existence, vital pursuits be no longer an exercise of mind and life for themselves, in a circle, but a means for the discovery of a greater truth behind mind and life, and the bringing of its power into our human existence. And this discovery is that of our real, because our highest self and nature. However, that self which we are not yet, but have to become, is not the strong vital will hymned by Nietzsche, but a spiritual self and spiritual nature. For as soon as we speak of supermanhood, we must be careful to avoid all confusion with the strong but so superficial and incomplete conception of Nietzsche's Superman. Indeed, since Nietzsche invented the word Superman, when someone uses it to speak of the coming race, willingly or not, it evokes at the same time Nietzsche's conception. Certainly, his idea that to develop the Superman out of our present very unsatisfactory manhood is our real business is in itself an absolutely sound idea. Certainly, his formula of our aim to become ourselves, implying as it does that man has not yet found all his true self, his true nature by which he can successfully and spontaneously live, could not be bettered. Nevertheless, Nietzsche made the mistake we said we ought to avoid. His Superman is but a man aggrandized, magnified, in whom force has become superdominant, crushing under its weight all the other attributes of man. Such cannot be our ideal. We see too well at present whither leads the exclusive worshipping of force, to the crimes of the strong and the ruin of continents.